You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
Already, we're chomping at the bit to say words.
Welcome, my friends, to the Catacombs.
Whoa. That was a little. Where's the welcome, my friends?
No. We're lower. I can welcome my friends to the Catacombs. I can do that.
I just like it. It makes me feel good about my life.
I will. Okay, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Welcome, my friends, to the Catacombs.
That's so much better.
We're the deep dive cult movie podcast that is attached to the cult movie cantina. We're like, in the basement.
Yeah, we're the subfloor of the subfloor.
That's where we keep Drew, our co-host.
Yeah.
How's it going, Drew?
It's good. Co-host here. I'm the suck pump of movies.
I got you.
I don't even know what that means, but we're going with it.
Yeah,
I think suck pumps are in basements.
I think that's called sump pumps. but
Either way.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and we have a special guest. Drew, would you like to introduce our guest?
I would. So I have known this guy for a while. I did a podcast with him. It's still floating up out there called Between the Line.
The great thing about the internet, it just
stays out there forever. He's a fantastic composer, a very good friend, and just so happens to be a guy who really loves terrible movies almost as much as I do. That'd be Chris Lott.
Hello.
Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy?
What's up? Not only am I a fan of terrible movies, I own a lot of them.
Now, I'm not going to say it was a terrible movie. I kind of enjoyed it. You did work on Snakes on a Plane. Snakes on a Train.
Snake out of Compton.
Snake out of Compton.
Yeah,
I was getting it there somewhere.
Snakes out of Compton was his.
Snake out of Compton, not Snakes on a Plane.
Same thing
If
to
it
me.
was Snakes on a Plane, man, I would have got much more money.
It was a snake, and I knew there was a snake. I got the snake part.
Well, actually, the beginning of that movie is like a snake falling out of a plane, and you hear the Samuel Jackson quote, "That's a snake falling." So we're an unofficial sequel to Snakes on a Plane.
That's pretty brilliant. Totally brilliant.
We should do that on this podcast.
Yeah,
definitely.
We should.
And then bring it back.
We bring back other. That would be great. I wish I picked a movie that was better with.
Oh! I've been waiting to say this.
I wish I picked a movie that was more in line to a composer's film.
That's not what I was waiting for.
Would have been like Judgment Night.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't.
Very interesting story for that film.
So I picked this particular film for a couple of reasons. So first of all, before we get into that, what we watched, and if you didn't see the label on the title of the episode, we watched Body Snatchers from 1993. It is the second remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956. You can listen to the trailer now.
There's something in the air, and it feels like fear. There's something in the night, and it seems like terror. There's someone in your bed, and it looks like you.
Mommy?
Life will be simpler now. The only thing missing
Mommy?
will be you.
Mommy?
What's the matter, honey? What's the matter? There's Mommy. She's right there. What happened?
I'm seeing people at the infirmary exhibiting paranoia. People afraid to sleep.
Get in bed.
Afraid of family members.
Let it go!
People afraid of themselves.
We gotta go right now!
Oh, Marty, let's get out of here.
They're out there. They're everywhere.
It's not my dad!
We're gonna get out of here, Marty.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you left.
Body Snatchers. The invasion continues. kill to be you.
And so here's why I picked it. There are few movies that are filmed in Alabama, where we record and where we hold our heads and where we live, but even fewer that take place in Alabama. This is both.
Yep. And got a theatrical release.
And got a theatrical release.
That's a very big deal. Wide release.
Got a wide release. It is not. We'll get into that later. And when we play our little game. But I have only seen this movie twice. Once in '94 when it was on home video, and then last night.
And for good reason.
For good reasons.
Oh, this movie is Nemesis level for me.
It is really?
Oh, man.
Nemesis level, really? Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, this movie is as bad. I was as bored. Here's my take on this movie. Just for 2 seconds of it.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
You don't want to say it?
Save me for myself. Go ahead. Just.
Do you want to just interrupt during the summary for that?
No, because I need to take how bad it is first.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
I mean, truthfully, I've been on a diet, a very strict diet, because I learned that I have a problem. When I get bored, I get hungry, right? I ate a bag of chips last night, broke my diet because of this movie. I blame this. I was so bored. I was like, I got to finish it. I ate a bag of chips. So that meant I had to work out more at the gym today. So not only did that movie ruin part of my day, it made my mornings suck even much more. So this movie is worse than Nemesis because Nemesis was so bad that on parts of Nemesis I was like, there's no way this is real. This can't even be a movie. It's so bad. This doesn't even make sense. This movie was just coherent enough to tell a story.
Right.
And just shitty enough for me not to give a shit. And yet I was stuck in the middle because I had to finish.
Well, what I want to know is, when you were watching Nemesis, did you have chips?
No, because it was so bad.
That's how bad this movie is.
Yeah, this made me break my diet. Haven't touched a potato in 9 months.
Man.
Body Snatchers. I was invaded by them with chips.
So it must have been the time of night I watched this. Let me explain what happened last night. I reconnected with a friend of mine that I've mentioned on this podcast before that I've not seen literally in almost 20 years.
Wow.
Or 25 years.
Right.
Mike Smith, who introduced me to Dreamscape.
Oh, wow.
And so, he lived where I grew up, and we were friends in middle school, and that's where he showed it to me in high school. And then after high school, he went into the military, and he's originally from New York, and so that's just where he resettled, and then we just lost connection. Well, he was back in town, and he hooked me. We've been talking on Facebook for the last couple of weeks, but he's like, let's have dinner. So I went to Owa, which is way south of the county, because he's in that area visiting. And so I was like, I'll just come to you. I'd never been to Wahlburger, so I went there.
Yep.
And we ended up talking for like 3 hours. So I didn't get home till like 10:30. Then I started watching this movie.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
So I didn't get to bed like to 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I've watched this movie. But I will say, riveted. I was riveted the entire time.
Seriously?
Loved it all. I absolutely loved it. I was like, this movie's going to... And I'm like, it's not half bad. And it just kept getting better. And I was like,
mind-blowingly bad.
What? Loved it.
Oh,
Loved
that's
it.
unreal. It's the first time we've had a massive disagreement on this level.
And like it's not like top 25 Scotty list.
No, but we're talking about the Catacombs. I'm not expecting them to be
right. But
unless Jim Cotta's included.
But I thoroughly enjoy. It's not perfect by any means, and it's not better than the Donald. I think the Donald Sutherland remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is phenomenal.
Oh, it's a horrifically scary movie to me.
Right, and mainly because we were young when it. I mean, it was right before. It came out right after I was born. The year of your birth. I don't know what year you were born, but it was 7 years after you were before you were born. But I it came on TV when I was little and scared the hell out.
It scared the bejesus out of me.
The one scene with the dog. With the human face. It still frightens me to this day.
Yeah, we still we watched it recently. It's kind of goofy, but but I'm like,
the idea of it
It's still
me,
freaky, though. It's still freaky.
So there are things and when I get this, it's early spoiler, I guess. I mean, if you watched it with us. I was horrified by the little boy watching his mother turn to dust.
Yeah, I don't know why that didn't bother me. It made me laugh kind of like AI did.
What?
Yeah, when the kid in AI is like, "Mommy, come back." I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
heartless.
You're sick, man, Drew.
You're
sick, man.
No, I don't know why. It wasn't like there was no build up for it for me for him to like because he kept saying he was like, she's not my mommy. But okay, we got it. No, he wasn't saying it that way. He was saying like, no, she's not my mommy. She's my stepmom.
Right. No, that was his mom.
No, that was his stepmom.
His mom. It's her stepmom.
Yeah, it was her stepmom.
Only her stepmom.
It's his mom.
Oh, I thought he said when our mommy went away in one part.
No,
he said it to her on the couch.
Trust me, we had to watch this movie. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I watched it.
I'm just like, my mommy's dead. I'm like, damn. They just hardcore.
Well, the poor kid is the worst situation is for the little kid.
Right. And so, there's parts of it, whatever, but there's like
I thought the screaming stuff. The first time she screamed, I thought it was creepy as hell. Just the idea of like them all like pointing and screaming the way they did.
No, that was freaky.
I thought that was an interesting concept.
And that's the only invasion of the Body Snatchers that have done the callback from the Donna Song. The other ones never do that. But I like when he gets downstairs and when he starts to realize the husband's realizing what's going on. He gets in and she's like, "Look, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna?" I mean,
yeah, no, that's.
And I'm just
freaky.
like,
it's freaky, but and be like, bitch, you just came out of a plant. Like, he's save your kids, bro.
He was stoned.
No, he's dumb. And he turned faster than anybody. My biggest problem with this is it was as bad as AVP in terms of gestation period. Like, oh, look, it takes 30 days for this one to grow, right? And then it's like, instantaneous. Just add water. They're like chia pets.
they just got refined. They just figured chia pets, really?
It was terrible.
So you ready to dive into this now?
Yeah, let's go.
So, Body Snatchers.
Throw some roots. Dad jokes about.
Body Snatchers, 1993, directed by Abel Ferrara, who did Kings of New York, Mary, Bad Lieutenant, Gladiator.
No. The boxing one, right?
No, even worse. This movie will make the Catacombs because I found out it was on Prime and I got excited. There's a 1986 made-for-TV movie about a dude's brother who gets killed by a drunk driver, and so he turns his car into a vigilante car and goes after drunk drivers.
We're watching it.
Oh my god,
that's so happening.
It's called Gladiator. It's 1986, and I was like, when I finished watching Body Snatchers, on my suggested like, would you like to see? And it was like it popped up. I went, yes, please. Add to watch list.
That's on the list.
It was like fast. It was as fast as I could put it.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
So here's maybe why the script is a mess. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screenwriters on it.
Good grief.
That are all credited.
Yeah, there's not like how many uncredited people.
Right,
there
it's not like I think. Actually, reading all about it, I think only the 5 people worked on it.
What are they? Are they ampersands or ands?
They are. So it's Raymond Sesteri who did Melinda and this movie, and his partner, who I did not put down because the only other movie he did was this. They have the ampersand.
Okay.
And then there's a story there's 3 guys on that, including Stuart Gordon, who we just recently did with Robot Jocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Who did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Reanimator, and what we're going to do soon on this podcast, Fortress. Stuart Gordon apparently is going to just live with us for a while.
It's fine. I like Stuart Gordon. He's made some good stuff.
Yes.
Stuart Gordon's writing partner is Paoli, who did Reanimator, Dagon, and From Beyond is also in this. And then Nicholas St. John, who did Kings of New York, Fear City, and The Funeral. So that's the 5 writers that are involved in this movie.
Good grief.
Originally, this was a Stuart Gordon piece, and for some reason, he did not get to direct. They changed directors on him.
Interesting.
Creative differences, I suppose. So, cinematography by Bojan Bazelli.
Yep. I have a cool note on this.
Who did The Ring?
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Hairspray, Rock of Ages, Pete's Dragon, the newest one. He's currently working on Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, snap. So this dude is, this movie, and I forget the exact model, it's the first set of ARRI lenses, this very specific type. Yep. Do you have that in trivia?
I do. Go for you. Just go ahead.
I know this from this movie. It's the first set of ARRI lenses that existed.
Note specifically for you. I know you so well.
These very specific anamorphic lenses, which I will say, the film is shot gorgeous. There's some shots in here I can't stand because they pushed in on the anamorphic. I wish it would have been, at least the version I saw was widescreen. But it would have been amazing to see some of these. I mean, there's some frames. I told Sarah, I was like, look how beautiful. And she was like me. I was like, a gorgeous frame. Beautifully
So this
well
was
composed.
the first, or according to the note, the trivia is that this is the first film shot with the Aeroscope anamorphic lens, which was created by Arri, the German manufacturer.
Yeah, there you go.
Optic.
So this became their first anamorphic glass. That's a huge deal.
That is.
For Arri lenses.
Very cool. Very cool. So it stars Terry Kinney as Steve. He's our EPA guy.
Terrible.
At some point, someone said EPA.
I think it was
no blonde girl. Yeah.
Kyle from Child's Play 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
In the list. Because that's how we roll. Steve's been Terry Kennedy as Steve from EPA. He was in. He's been in Billions on Showtime. All right,
he's a great actor.
Good Behavior. He's in Oz.
Great actor. Terrible in this.
Yes,
he's okay in this. I don't think he's terrible.
No, he was the worst part of this movie.
Oh no, I would say that.
For me, he was one of the worst parts. Yeah. One of the.
Meg Tilly as Carol. She was in Agnes of God, where she received an Oscar nomination. So she is an Oscar nominee that's in this movie. One of two. She was in The Big Chill and she's in Psycho 2. Which
she's a great actress.
And she's good in this.
And plays really weird characters very well.
Right, and she's good in this.
She's great.
She's got that turn from human to monster is great. Gabrielle Anwar as Marty. She's in most recently Once Upon a Time. She's been in a lot of Burn Notice. She's been in The Tudors, and she was in Scent of a Woman. I only put that in there so we could go hoo-ah, hoo-ah.
Wait, that goes back to our. Yeah, well, that goes back to Tom Baird.
Right.
Oh, Jesus! Go listen to episode 3.
Yeah, that's why I put things in stuff.
That's what she said.
Billy Worth as Tim. He's been in Lost Boys and a ton of TV. But he's a working actor. He's been in 2 episodes of this and 3 episodes of that.
He's
one
a full-time
actor, so he's doing that. Your friend Christina Elise as Jen, and she's Kyle in Child's Play 2.
There it is.
And she's also most famously she's in Beverly Hills 90210, and she's in the remake. She's on the reboot or whatever they're doing.
It was a sequel, actually.
Is it a sequel? I don't know how.
It's like later on in that. I thought they just continued the art.
Did not watch it. So.
Nope.
I did watch 90210 back in the day, though. I won't lie.
I'm not going to lie. I did not.
I only watched one episode of Melrose Place because I was a PA on a movie and took Jamie Lunar home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, gotcha.
Yeah. That was an interesting time.
Do a little studying on that.
I had to figure out who the hell she was. They talked about it. I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't watch this stuff.
So we're going to go to our second Oscar winner.
Forrest
Whitaker. He's the only winner, second nominee.
Totally didn't remember he was in this. Didn't even know. And he showed up. I
forgot too. I was like,
Forrest Whitaker?
It was like Meg Tilly and then Forrest Whitaker. And you're just like, what?
And his eyeball was all normal still.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not being mean. It's like he just hadn't had bad luck or something yet.
We this movie made it.
Yeah, it was this movie right here. It was that one scene when
when he went crazy. Yeah,
that's
what happened.
That's what happened.
So most people
too much of a strain.
So Forrest Whitaker is known for The Last King of Scotland. That's when he won his Oscar. He is in one of my favorite films of all time, Ghost Dog: The Way of the Samurai.
Dude, Jim Jarmusch. So good.
So good. I want more of that stuff. He's in Black Panther. He is Saw Gerrera in Star Wars Rogue One and Rebels. He's in Platoon. He's been in The Crying Game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was in The Crying Game.
I forgot that.
He was in The Crying. And then rounding out our cast is Lee Emery.
Yeah, boy.
As General as General Platt is Full Metal Jacket 7, Mississippi Burning, and Dead Man Walking, among other things. Also, the worst mustache and eyebrow combo in a movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I was seriously, I'm no lie, riveted. I was really digging the movie, and then this fucked up mustache and stuff, and I'm just like, huh?
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is it wasn't the piss poor acting. It wasn't the fact that I'll get onto this in a second. It wasn't the fact that there was a weird relationship between a grown man and a girl. It was actually the fact that some dude had a fucked up mustache that pulled you out of this movie.
Yeah,
Scotty White, I love you, but god dang, that's crazy.
I just like, man, was that because it looked like a caterpillar? It did.
What's up with that?
Right, like a caterpillar on his lip, and then like 2 little baby caterpillars on his eyebrows. That was just like,
that's his patented look.
The mustache was off.
Yeah, the mustache was not his patented.
Like I never noticed. I've never noticed the eyebrows, but the mustache like drove it all out. It's like, oh. Okay,
this is what
we're doing now. Okay,
maybe that's what the Body Snatcher wanted.
And then, like, Forrest Whitaker also has a terrible mustache. I mean, there are terrible mustaches in this movie.
Well, it was the 90s. No one knew what to do with facial hair back then.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get into this. Steve Malone, an agent from the Environmental Protection Agency, is sent to a military base in Alabama. Roll Tide. To test possible effects of effects on the surrounding ecological system caused by military action. With him is his teenage daughter from his first marriage, Marty, which is a dumbass name. His second wife, Carol, and Marty's half brother, Andy. Which apparently there's a lot of Andys in horror films.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a good classic name.
It's also A, so then just like, oh, good, just start with A in there.
Yeah,
Andy.
You're my friend in the end. On their way to the base, they stop at a gas station. In the restroom, Marty is threatened by an MP with a knife. That's a military place, not like one of the Parliament guys in Britain. Hello, lady. I'm going to stab you now with a knife.
Pardon me.
Pardon me. Would you like to vote? Stabby stab. This is what you come for, right? This is the entertainment.
Oh, boy.
Well, can I ask you a quick question about the two guys sitting there? Were they pod people?
Yes.
They already were?
No, which two guys?
At the gas station.
At the gas station.
The two old...
the old guys?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
People were just
they were the
nah.
most real dudes in the whole damn movie.
They
That's
probably
what I
were
know.
real dudes, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've seen that gas station. So
Because you're from the area, right?
Yeah. So that's how I got started in all this, because I was there when they were filming Body Snatchers. That was like a huge thing, because it was Blue Sky before then with Tommy Lee Jones and Jessica Lange, which is the same producer, Robert H. Solo, from Blue Sky and Body Snatchers.
He's like, I just like it down here. We're going to film here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they actually filmed at Craig Air Force Base in Selma, Alabama. So that was a huge thing. Oh, they're filming Body Snatchers. Oh, they're filming Body Snatchers here, and it's all taking place in Selma.
Is that Air Force Base that big, or they just cinematic?
It really is that big.
Oh, I didn't realize
But
it.
like the helicopters and stuff like that, you would see them fly every once in a while. But when this movie was going off, there was a shit ton of helicopters going off every time you pass by there, and I passed by there a lot. And it was every time you turn around, there was something going on. Oh, there's something. Oh, they're all walking around.
It was a decent sized budget movie, especially for the 90s.
It was, and we'll get to that, how much it was in a minute. But so no, I don't think they were pod people. I just think they were good old boys. I don't think they were like from Central
No,
Casting.
I love those two dudes.
I just think they were like
they were my two favorite dudes in the movie.
Realistically, they probably own the gas station. Like, y'all want to be in a movie?
Yeah, they were the best guys in the movie. They got up, they were courteous, and then when the girl's screaming at shit, dude comes around the corner with a shotgun. He's ready to go to work, right? Like, they were the only people that gave a shit about anybody in that town.
Right. I want to know, was that like a prop shotgun or like shotgun that they had in back?
I bet he was probably like, no, that's not what my character would do. I'll go get a shotgun.
No,
Like, sir, please put the shotgun down.
He just forgot he was acting. It's like, your daughter got his gun.
What do you mean, he's back in there? It's like he's had him in there for a
Sir,
while.
we're filming a movie. Please calm down.
All right, so she gets about stabbed by a Parliament guy.
Yeah. When he notices her fear, he lets go of her. Satisfied that she's shown an emotional response, before he leaves the room, he warns her, "They get you when you sleep." Sure. Steve, from Mipa, and his family move into a new home on the base. And Marty makes friends with the base commander's daughter, Jen. On the first day of daycare, Andy runs away because he is recognized as an outsider among the other somehow conformist children. I really want to talk.
Pod babies.
Yeah, the pod babies.
Why? No, here's a question. Legitimate question.
Yep.
Why in God's name are you aliens that come down here and you're going to take over people? I understand taking over adults, but why the shit would you take over children?
So if you put a child somewhere,
I guess I get it. I get the strategic value of it.
Right. Yeah, you would see a child like alone. You're like, oh my God, I got to go help that baby. Now you're a pod person.
You're a pod person.
Right.
Well, yeah, it works.
I would personally, if I was in charge of the pod people, they would all just be pod babies and just send that. That's how we would conquer the planet.
Well, yeah, because you
that
think
sounds
about
like a weird Nickelodeon show all of a sudden.
Next on Disney Plus, Pod Babies.
Pod babies will make your dreams come true. Bop, doo, bop.
That was unscripted and beautiful.
Still sober.
I love our podcast. All right, so
I haven't noticed.
Where was I? Oh, okay, so I do want to come back to talk about the daycare scene because fascinating. He is picked up, brought home by helicopter pilot Tim. Marty and Tim quickly feel attracted to each other.
By the way, Tim is all right. Marty's not even 18. She says it later. She's like, if I were 18, I'd walk out of this house.
Yeah.
So she's at least 17.
I think, honestly, she's 16.
Right? And that dude, to be a warrant officer, is at least 30 years old.
Whoa. Is he a warrant officer?
He's flying a helicopter in the Army. He's a warrant officer.
I didn't know that. I thought he was a pilot. I thought he was like a...
See, I didn't know that either.
I thought he was like
he's a warrant officer.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden he still could be 25, 26, right?
No, right. I would say he was 25.
He's a statutory rapist, except the state of Alabama, the age of consent is 16 years old.
See, that's why this
so
movie took place.
checked, and he's like, we're good. The whole movie set in Alabama for this reason, because we wanted to have a young girl and an old guy together. Well, it ain't rape if it's in Alabama, they said.
That's why they filmed it in Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Gee, Manetti.
Or War Eagle, whichever one you want.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, he got sensitive in here.
Yep.
Where were we?
I don't know. We're already off the rails.
Meanwhile, while examining soil samples, Steve is approached by medical officer Major Collins. That's Forrest Whitaker. Oscar
with
winner.
the softest voice ever. Dr. Malone.
Hey, Dr. Malone.
Dr. Malone. I need something.
Oh, yeah, he did it. Classic. Whitaker.
Right. And he's also smoking. I was like, that's a bad medical officer.
He's just, again, no sense.
Uncomfortably close to him smoking that cigarette, too.
Yeah. Evil guy's not like, hey, God, no. He just enjoy that secondhand smoke. Major Collins, who asked him about psychological effects, and basically he's like, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know about that. I know about chemicals. And he's really curious about particularly narcophobia, which is the fear of sleep, and their possible reaction to the taxation of the environment. Steve believes that a psychological reaction would be more likely. Maybe.
And Steve kind of gives him shit, too. He just met this guy, and he's like automatically giving him shit, like right off the bat. And it's like, that's not what you're here for. You're here to collect samples, not give people shit. Even though he's like so close in your face smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he's giving him shit.
He's playing that civilian card.
Yeah.
In the evening, Marty and Jen go to a bar attended by the station military personnel, where they're met not only by Tim, but also the MP that threatened Marty at the gas station. He denies that they've ever met anymore because he's a pod man now. Pod man. Oh wait, we're podcasters.
Aww.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave that there. That was perfect, right?
Actually, you must just say everything like this from this point forward.
Okay.
In this movie, The Body Snatchers, some people get turned into pods. Nope, the other way around. Damn it, I couldn't even do it.
You fail. That night, a group of soldiers can be seen picking giant pods from the river running by the base. Can't do it because y'all giggling. See, I'd get captured, turned into a pod.
Yep.
So I can read this correctly.
No,
he is showing emotion. Take him now.
They would get me. We'll get to that part.
When Andy wakes up and enters his mother's bedroom, Carol's body crumbles to dust while a naked, soulless double emerges from the closet, where I would call a twat shot.
Yeah, I was like more shocked not by his mom being dead. I was like, I saw Bush.
Oh, see, when I was a kid and I saw that, I'm like, whoa, can't believe I just saw that. And I'm looking around, I'm like, my parents, I'm like, oh, there, nobody's home.
Rewound it and just like, you guys notice the Body Snatchers keeps breaking in the same spot? VHS tape just torn up right there.
It's like, wait a minute. I thought I was watching Body Snatchers, not Body Snatch.
Hey!
Damn. Oh,
I went there.
Here's a bad thing. I scored a movie called Body Snatch. Yep.
Oh, I believe it.
Yep. And it's not a porno. It's not a porno.
Hey,
it's a very serious movie. Well, it takes itself seriously. I'll put it like that.
Pornos are very serious movies, too. I'm here to fix the plumbing.
What's beyond that? I was thinking about that. Doesn't matter.
I don't want to know what you think.
I am okay, but slightly disappointed. I went with the snatch joke instead of talking about Gavin Rosdale for this moment. But I did went with the.
Nice.
I went with the.
Yeah.
I figured I'd be classy.
Yeah.
So, while a naked soulless double emerges from the closet. Nobody believes Andy, so he's going to eat a bunch of worms. That's a big thing in this movie. not eating worms, just singing about it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it's weird. And it makes no sense.
Just their favorite little nursery rhyme.
I got kids, and I've never been like, here's the song. First you bite the head off, then you suck out the blood.
You've never heard the
This isn't crawfish, it's a rat. Worm. Here you go, kids. Fucking Ozzy Osbourne this shit.
Okay, let's unpack that. I have a couple questions. Question number 1.
You should know better.
Oh no!
You've never heard the "Let's Go Eat Worms" song?
No.
I will post it in the show notes. It's a real song. We sang it as kids. 2, what's a rat worm?
Don't question. That's my family here.
Rat worm. Okay.
Some white people shit is what you're trying to tell me.
That's exactly what it is. It's secret white people shit.
I got you.
When you say rat worm, it makes me think of the weird Slotsky sponge rat things. Remember? No, yeah.
Sponge rat things.
Yeah. The commercial that they had on where they.
Oh, the Slotsky's Deli?
Yeah.
No, that was for
Quiznos.
Quiznos.
Yeah,
Quiznos.
that's a rat worm. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why you don't see Quiznos anymore. White people let that shit go. They shut them down.
Greatest thing ever.
For kids who don't remember that, I'll put that in the show notes too. Oh, the show notes will be interesting. All right, that following night, Marty and her father are nearly taken over too by duplicates emerging from the giant pods. Carol attempts to convince Steve that the takeover is a good thing.
Yeah.
Claiming that it ends in confusion and anger. My favorite thing is that the first thing he does is hug her, lay his head on her shoulder. He lets her console him, and then he's like, wait, you're evil, and then he runs.
Yeah, he's a tool.
He's like, I'm almost done with this movie. I'm getting my chicken going.
That was probably the last day of filming right there.
She also claims that there's no place to go, as the events at the base are not an isolated event. Steve is almost shocked and saddened into compliance, but Marty and Andy drag him out the door. Yay, children. Carol emits a shrill...
To me, the scariest sequence was absolutely that.
It's a cool scream.
I just love that all the other ones are going along with her.
Right.
You know?
So Carol emits a shrill and a mechanical scream that alerts the other pod people to the presence of the human being. Now the majority of the numbers, they swarm over the base, chasing the remaining humans. After hiding Marty and Andy in a warehouse, Steve enters Major Collins' office. The hysterical Major tries to call for help, but the line is blocked. I like that whole scene. It's like, how do you know my name? How do you know my name? Pod people, dude. Why would you even want to use a phone? That's dumb.
I don't understand why he was still there.
Right. Just, I'm out. Please.
It's like, see you later. Watch me work.
No, he had to. He was the exposition guy.
Yeah,
that was the whole reason.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, don't forget your exposition this week. And he's like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
right,
I'll stay here and dump info if anybody asks me.
Probably did like 1 day of filming.
Yeah.
No, probably a lot more because this is before. I mean, he was Forrest Whitaker, but this is before he was Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, he was getting there. The conversation is while swallowing sleep prevention pills, Collins announces that it's too late to run. All they can do is fight. The conversation is interrupted by the arrival of a group of pod people led by the base commander, General Platt, and his terrible mustache. When Steve hides, the pod people try to convince the Major that the individual is not important, but and that only conformity can solve the world's problems. So basically, they're a bunch of communists.
Yep. And socialists.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's a comedy movie. The Major shoots himself rather than live such a world.
Think about it. It was written in the 50s. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Why you gotta make it real, man?
No, sorry. I mean, the social commentary of the movie is fascinating to me, and then it doubles ends on itself.
Steve returns to his children and tell them to follow him, claiming that he's found a way out. They drive aimlessly through the military base as a loudspeaker shouts out instructions for spreading the invasion by carrying out pods and trucks. Realizing that father has been replicated, Marty swerves the car into the side and tries to escape with her brother. Tim, who escapes his former comrades, who try to turn him into a pod person, suddenly appears because convenience and
the absolute.
Turning one of them suddenly appears, and Marty takes his gun, shoots the Steve duplicate. Steve's body shrinks into a mass of seething bloody goo. When that happened, I was hoping he was going to be real.
Yeah, I did too.
That would have been a very interesting.
I would have been like, oh my God.
But he would have broke character at some point because I kept waiting like, oh my God, you're going to make him real. You're going to make him real. He's not going to. I was like, oh, okay. Because he should have broke. I mean, he would have stopped his gag of like, if you don't show any emotion, they can't detect you.
Right. I was well, maybe he's playing along to like they're not going to shoot. And then shot him. I was like, oh, please be real, please, because I'd love that.
Didn't Andy's like, Daddy, you're dead? It's like,
it's just and then he becomes goo. Tim manages to get a hold of a helicopter. That's a line in this.
Yes.
But Marty and Andy are taken away by the pod people. They sedate both of them and take them to the base infirmary where the remaining human beings are being systematically duplicated by pods. Tim is able to rescue Marty despite her pod duplicate trying to seduce him into compliance.
Naked pod duplicate.
Yeah,
go ahead and show the full nudity.
Yeah, I got a background story about that.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
Yep, great.
Incomplete. She dies when he pulls the connecting tendrils out of Marty.
I have a tough time. Like, okay, that chick was almost fully, completely rendered,
right?
And then she rips him out, and they're like, "Yep, she's dead."
Well, you've had that when you've almost got something rendered and it's just like system error, and you're like, "God damn, I got to start again."
Yeah, but it's like
I didn't save.
It doesn't sit there for a little while. It's like it's
like oh right, this video's playing in the system, and it's like you forgot you saved. Now you got to start over, and you're hating yourself.
I'm hating them pods.
Marty and Tim leave the building pretending to be pod people because it worked great for Dad. So they can get.
So how was Dad even turned? Do you think he just gave up?
Yeah, I would have just whatever.
He started crying.
Like, yeah,
they hurt him.
So he was like, "I'm sensitive. I'm from the EPA.
EPA.
Here's old Steve from EPA.
Pod people deserve love too.
Oh God.
Here's a cigarette, doctor. Here, however, let's say they're spotted by Jen, now a pod duplicate, who gets suspicious and tells Marty that she saw Andy looking for her. When Marty, this is done. I knew she was gonna fall for this. When Marty reacts,
I liked it.
I did too. Yeah. When Marty reacts by displaying emotions, Jen responds by screaming.
So I was gonna say earlier, like, so this is how they would get me. I'd be good. Right. I'd be pretty good. I mean, removing my kids from the situation because that's a parental thing. Like, it'd be pretty tough not to react. But aside from that, it would be like someone proclaiming that Star Wars Episode 8 was a good movie and that Rian Johnson's brilliant, and I would just totally be like, "Fuck you!" It's exactly right. And I'd be like, "This is why I hate Star Wars Episode 8."
It ruined everything. Sorry.
Tim and Marty manage to get on the helicopter and are joined last minute by Andy, who runs up to them. But right after taking it out, Andy goes crazy because he's a pod duplicate.
Pod baby
attacks both and tries to bring down the helicopter. After
he's a podler.
That's our next T-shirt, podler.
Totally done.
I'm making podler shirts. That's awesome.
And it's got to be Andy falling out of the helicopter.
I love that scene. Andy, who's actually a pod duplicate, attacks both and tries to bring down the helicopter. After a sharp scuffle, a heartbroken Marty just throws him out the helicopter.
It's great. I wish it would have been a dummy scene. That would have made my day.
Right, but and he gives out a pod scream while falling down to his death. I really wish he was flipping them off when I would have loved that. I would have loved it.
It kind of looked like it almost. It made me think of Constantine when Keanu Reeves is like flipping off the devil. But
yeah.
The ending of the film is an ambiguous one. Tim destroys trucks filled with...
Hold on, now. Let's talk about this helicopter sequence. First off...
Can I finish? We got a few lines. Then we can talk all we want about it. Tim destroys... Because I want to go back and talk about the daycare center.
Wonderful movie.
Tim destroys the truck filled with pods with helicopter rockets when Marty confesses her profound hatred in a voiceover narration, thereby hinting the loss of humanity. While they land on another base, the words of Matt's replaced by the stepmother earlier where she can be heard, suggesting that the phenomenon may have already spread beyond the army base.
Listen to me, Steve.
No, you don't understand. We've got to go.
Go where?
No, we got to go. What the hell are you talking about?
Steve, this is important. Go where? That's right. Go where? What happened in your room? Are you listening? What happened in your room is not an isolated incident. It is something that is happening everywhere, to everyone. So, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you left.
and it's a turd.
It's not a turd.
No, I think I pooped out some pods a couple of times.
That means you're constipated, pal.
Yeah, well, that's because I watched this movie.
Because you ate shit?
We can go in order. You want to talk about the daycare scene?
Yeah, I liked it. It's weird, and it's like
it's weird because I thought those kids were painting like human intestines. That's what I kept looking like. I was like, man, that looks like that.
I don't know what they were painting, but I like the fact that this movie reminds me a lot of '95's John Carpenter's Village of the Damned.
Yeah, I'll give you that
the
one.
The way it's shot, the tone it sets, it's very much, and I love that.
When was Village of the Damned? Was that
95? It's 95.
Okay.
So
it's probably filmed in '93.
I think the Carpenter's remake of Village is better. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is the greatest movie. I don't think it's better than the like we said the Donald Sutherland one. It's not better than the first one, but I like the tone it took. I like it's different enough and unique. The rest of them are really kind of by the book. Even Nicole Kidman's Invasion.
Yeah,
which I think was.
I haven't seen that one.
It's okay. It's not bad.
I heard it was pretty decent.
It's okay, but it's like okay.
It's very slow.
Right.
Really.
This one's at least faster. I agree.
Yeah, because it's like as soon as it starts, it gets right into it.
Right.
Like,
it just jumps into it. Look, it's not perfect, and I agree with you that Steve's a terrible actor in this thing. And it's
God.
But he's a great actor. That's the sad part.
Because I love it in the Mentalist.
But it's not a great part. And I think honestly, it's not because realistically, when the shift focuses really quick to Marty being our voice, our main character for this, he's done checked out.
Yeah.
And so it's like the Forrest Whitaker scene with the Dr. Malone. That sounds like it only exists because we need a little bit of it. Well, we don't need it because we've already been told like 10 times beforehand don't go to sleep. This is Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's been proven now.
I was about to say this is turning into Nightmare on Elm Street.
Sleep bad.
Right. But I'm seriously like, we paid this guy. We need to put him in something.
That's facts.
But I would have much rather watched this whole movie just from the young people's perspective, more so than the parents. Now,
it would have been a way better movie that way.
I think so. Yeah. I think so too.
I still just have. I really do. Maybe it's because I'm a dad of girls now, but like I have a tough time swallowing the fact that girl was 17 or 16 or whatever she was.
It's wrong.
Weird.
And wrong,
unsettling, in not a horror movie way, in a creepy white dude way.
And the dad even goes off. Do you know she's underage? Do you know? He's like, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like, what? You
knew
this?
Steve sucks.
Yeah.
Steve is a dad. He's a shitty dad.
Yeah.
Fact.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
I bet Steve killed his first wife with some chemicals he brought home.
Well, he's a chemist and he works for eBay. He probably got to hold some acid. I mean, kind of like a white barrel, like in Breaking Bad.
Oh my God, I was trying to find this Donald Sutherland movie on IMDb. I'll be sitting here scrolling for 86 minutes.
Donald Sutherland has been in a lot of things.
Yeah,
but I like I said, the daycare thing I like is because it's before. It's early in the movie, and while we know there's some pod activity, this is when you're starting to realize how deep it is.
Yeah.
The teacher is just like, good. All right, show your, and all the artwork is all the same, and it's just very creepy. And then poor Andy's like, I'm creative, and they're like, oh, fuck that kid.
Yeah, they did not like that idea.
and then for a 6-year-old, he's smart. You know what he does? He books it.
He bails, and then he's just suddenly running by himself.
Yeah, around all these military personnel. It's like, I want to know how many of them were pod people and how much were actually just military guys. Like, wait a minute, where's
pod people are just like, we'll get him in a minute.
Yeah, just let him go, fellas. He's not doing anything.
Not doing anything.
And you see the look on his face too. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like, something ain't right here. I'm going.
So for a 6-year-old, I'm like, all right, and then I'm digging it. So,
and then you feel bad for him later on because after the mom has turned, it's like, well, do you want to stay home with mommy or do you want to go to daycare? And he's just like,
he's like he's
dude, really, man? I mean, what was I just talking about? Mom's not mom,
right,
and the daycare's bad.
Dad is a piece of shit. Let's just get over it.
I don't know if he's sick, so how good of an actor is he? But he puts. I mean, I'm reading that face like, oh shit, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
done.
I'm gonna stay with Marty. Can I, as an option? What can I? I don't know. Oh, I'm 6. I'm dead. What am I going to do? All right. I'm just.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kid, but he's a terrible actor. I think he worked
He's
one
6.
movie.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't. All right,
I can't
agree
judge
with,
him. I can judge them. I can judge them all. I don't know what that means. Can we put Judge Dredd on the show at some point? It's pretty bad. Dredd.
Which version?
Ooh. No, I like Dredd.
You like Dredd?
Oh yeah, no, that one.
Dredd.
But I was like, hold on, man, don't shit on Dredd.
So we don't always shit on the movies. We've done movies that we like.
Dark No Escape last time.
That was
a good movie.
It turned out to be way better than I remembered.
Man,
Every once in a while we find something good.
I felt the way I had never seen No Escape, so I can't say. But I felt about this movie than that like you did about No Escape. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
No, that's interesting.
I mean, it's not great, but I in the end I watched. I was riveted. I wasn't bored at all, and I like the special effects. I do. I like the crumbling into dust is a really good effect. It's better than the Steve Blob one, but watching her turn to kind of just get vacuum sucked into dust is great.
Yeah,
because you got that where it sucks in and all of a sudden.
And then that poor little boy has to watch that.
And then see this stranger coming out butt naked out of the closet, and you're just like, okay. As
maybe
a kid,
he was more horrific. Maybe he was more horrified that he saw his mom's bush than anything else.
Glycerine.
He saw his mom's Gavin. Oh dear God!
Again, this is really
swallowed.
Oh, you should have known.
I had an idea. I had an idea because I've listened to a lot of episodes, and I was just like, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, well,
so and you growing up, I mean, I don't know where you are with that, but you have like tales of. I'm trying to find this movie, but you grew up in this when this movie was being made, right?
Yeah, and there was like tons of stuff. You know, I mean, they said like Arlie Ermy was like the coolest dude to hang around and everything else. But the scene where Gabrielle Anwar is just walking around, you know, is butt naked in that scene. They said she was just walking around just completely naked, like, "Hi everybody, hi, how y'all doing?" And there's like, there's little Gaby Anwar just walking around, just completely nude.
Well, clearly she was over 18.
Oh yeah, she was 23 when they were filming.
God, that's crazy. Good for her.
I was like, whoa. And for me, it was like, when I was a kid, it was like, this movie was being filmed in my hometown. So immediately when it came out the movie gallery.
The movie gallery.
I think I rented this from movie gallery.
Yeah. Movie gallery.
I went running in there, and I was like, and there was like so many copies up there, and it was like all of them are in, and nobody was there to rent it. I'm like, how's nobody renting this? It was filmed here in Selma. Nobody cares. And we'll watch it. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
But I had a deep fondness for this film because it was filmed in Selma. Not so much now.
No. Yeah.
I still have, you know, there's certain fondness there because, you know, it harkens back to my childhood. I mean,
did they close streets and stuff? Not a lot because they were mostly on the base.
No, and like the bar scene, if I remember correctly, that was actually filmed right next to the movie theaters because there was a bar right next to the theaters, and
only in Alabama.
Only in Selma.
I'm gonna get drunk and watch Jurassic Park.
Oh my God!
Hey man, I actually saw Jurassic Park in that theater too.
Woo! They do run in herds. Roll Tide.
That's it. That's all we needed.
Damn.
How they make them look? How you reckon they make them look so real?
Man, they got them dinosaurs on that island.
It's terrible when they make fun of our own people.
They make dinosaurs real.
They own that island. I watched it. They own the island.
I tell you what, I ain't going nowhere near Costa Rica.
Hey, you can't pay me. No. I ain't gonna go Cuba dive.
I guess it is this. I never wrote. Okay, great.
Did you find your
Yes, finally.
Which one?
All right, so the one thing I take away from this was the same version of this exists, except they're not pod people, and it's a movie called The Puppet Masters with Donald Sutherland.
That's 94, right?
And it's a fantastically well-made movie. I'd love to throw it in the mix here. It is a great movie.
I have that on DVD. I love that movie.
It's really well done.
Yeah.
And they take the time to explain things, and there's character development, at least by memory serving. It's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember it being like, hey, man, this was actually pretty good. And it's, again, kind of a low-budget movie.
It's based on a book, and I read the book back right before the movie came out.
Robert Heinlein, right?
Yeah, I think Heinlein.
Oh, it is a Heinlein book.
Yeah, it's Heinlein. And the screenwriters for that version right there was actually the Pirates of the Caribbean screenwriters, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I bought it on DVD, I was sitting and watching it. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, it's those guys. I remember when that movie came out, and it was, you know, around the same time, Body Snatchers and then Puppet Masters. And I kept getting confused because I remember Donald Sutherland in the 78 version.
Yeah, that's same
so
here.
I was like,
that's
wait. And then I was like, oh, no, this is something different, but it's the same idea and everything else. And I watched Puppet Master, and I'm like, this is a way better movie
Yeah,
than
it's
Body Snatchers.
fantastic.
I'm like, why couldn't that have been filmed here?
No shit, right?
Because they don't film good movies down here.
Wait a second. Wait just 1 second.
Uh-oh.
I filmed a movie here.
Besides Drew's movies, they don't film
That's
good
what I'm
movies.
saying.
Oh, and Close Encounters.
Pretty damn good movie.
Right, so that close. So a few.
Well,
movies.
what about the Friday the 13th they shot here? Which
Seven.
That one was good. That was a good one. Ish.
Body Snatchers is better than Friday the 13th 7.
I don't know, man. Carrie versus Jason. I mean,
Jean Grey versus Jason. She's a mutant.
I've never seen it.
Really?
No, I'm not a big. Remember, I'm not a big.
Yeah, you're not a big horror guy.
I'm just not a big Friday the 13th guy. Like
they're not.
I like the bad. Like I probably should have seen that one because the campier they are, the more I enjoy
that
them.
was the first appearance of Kane Hodder as Jason. In that
Is 7?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time.
He has this weird thing. Every time I'm like, hey, Kane Hodder, he's legit. He'll always just be like, okay. He just dismisses my obsession with
Kane Hodder.
Yeah, I was just like, I like the guy. And he's like, yeah, okay.
I've been shook by that guy. All right, and he was awesome. And it hurt. And then Scotty's still just like, oh, whatever.
No, see, it's like an okay face. He just gives you the okay face.
The no Kane
No,
face.
I'm just trying to think. So what's? Yeah.
The no Kane face. That's what it is.
The no Kane.
You know what? If he comes and does the show, maybe I'll change my tune. But right now, I'm just like, fuck that guy.
Dear Kane Hodder, please, if you listen to this show, first off, thank you. I mean, really, if all the things you could be doing with your life, thank you.
I don't know why they changed Kane Hodder for Freddy versus Jason.
I think it was Ronnie Yu, from what I heard.
Right? Yeah. No, that's what I understood. I just don't know why.
From what I remember reading, like the different tabloids and everything, at the time, because it was a huge thing in the
right, because
it was the director wanted more soulful eyes or sorrow.
CGI. Disney that shit. Look, Kane Hodder's got the size. Like when I think Jason, I really like the huge. Personally, my Jason's pre him, but he's modern Jason, so that makes sense to me for him to be.
Right. I mean, and he had just done like Jason X, which
we've done on this show.
We did on the, oh man!
So you think this movie's better than Jason X?
I enjoyed Jason X more.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because I laughed more in Jason X. I mean, it was so bad. Again, this was just in the gray area for me.
I got you.
Jason X was fun though. I mean, it was a terrible movie, but it was
terrible.
Oh, dude, it's the birth of Equilibrium.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, a lot of gun kata in that.
The gun kata came out of that movie first. So that dude, Robert Wagner, or whatever his name is, I can't forget, Kurt Warner, or whatever it is.
First of all, you went for the guy from Heart to Heart, then to a quarterback. I did have Kurt Warner's Arena Football for PlayStation.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, man, really?
Yep. So, what is your favorite Friday the 13th? Is what I'm really trying to get this question, and then we got on Kane Hodder. So,
well, I really don't know. I mean, you gotta have a soft spot for the original. I mean, because it was the original, But
right.
I kind of like the number 7, the one with.
You like 7?
Yeah. Mainly only for the fight.
Yeah,
The fight, the whole fight scene at the end. Everything else sucks up until that point. After that, the movie's awesome.
Right, Jason versus, and it's more Jean Grey than anything. Like. She's not as fucked up as Carrie is. No. Like Carrie's got like some issues. She's just basically a mutant. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna have this in this world, and they're like, no, we drop it. We're gonna send him to New York next. And I'm like, what?
That one was just terrible all the way around.
Which is a misnomer because they're in New York for like the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's really we're going on this shitty cruise trip.
It's Friday 13th Part 8. Jason takes a boat.
Right, takes a boat.
Takes a boat ride.
And then I like 6 because it introduces zombie Jason, and I love the idea.
Yeah,
I love zombie Jason.
I haven't went back and watched them. I own all of them, but 6 was fun. I remember that,
because I like how Tommy in the beginning they just like, well, how's Jason going to come back? Tommy's just going to accidentally Frankenstein his ass. And that's probably how it's written in the script. Tommy Frankenstein's his ass.
Sure
what was that, man?
It's better than Freddy being resurrected by dog piss.
I don't know about that. I have a soft spot for Nightmare on Elm Street 4. That's my favorite out of that.
Oh man!
And it's like it just edges out 3 because it's just damn ridiculous. like, have you seen 4? Have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street 4? We have to do 3 and 4 on the show because it's like Star Wars and Empire. You got to kind of put them together.
Yeah.
And loosely, 5 is terrible, but it's in the.
God.
But I don't want to because the 5 is terrible. So in 3, have you seen? Okay, first of all, have you seen any Elm Street? So let's do that.
Yeah, the first one.
All right, so 3 happens in a mental institution.
No, I've seen 3 and the Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. Okay.
Dream Warriors is 3.
3. So Dream Warriors.
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
All right. So Dream Warriors, they introduced the fact that you can travel into dreams and you get cool dream powers, right?
Yep.
Right. So that's that.
They set it up and nothing pays off.
Right. And so in 4, they continue that trope of setting it up and nothing paying up. In fact, they have the main protagonist's brother is basically a ninja, like in his dreams. But because they run out of budget, he fights an invisible Freddy Krueger.
Oh, yeah, that sounds delightful.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's just, poor Rick is just out there doing martial arts moves to nothing. You just hear sound effects of Freddy going, oh,
my God, that's brilliant.
I felt bad for that actor. And he was just like, oh, God, I hate my life right now.
But it was scripted out like this epic fight between him and Freddy. And, of course, he dies. But at least he's like, I'm going to have this epic fight with Freddy. And they're like, we ain't got the budget to hire Robert Englund to do that. So now you're just going to pretend like you're just,
He's invisible. No, trust me, kid. It'll be great.
And then he gets killed by a flying glove.
What?
Yeah. The glove, he kicks the glove out of Invisible Freddy's hand. And then the glove flies across the room, lands on the ground, and then slowly starts aiming toward him, and then flies at him into his stomach.
And then, so that's how he dies in his dream. And in real life, he's on the toilet and it explodes. Like there's a bomb that goes off in there with some gas leak or whatever and blows up.
Yep.
But he's sleeping on the toilet there.
Yeah, he's taking a crap and he dies on the toilet.
Yeah, dies on the toilet.
Dear God, this sounds atrocious.
Yep. He dies, an elbow on the chin.
4
That's
times
how he
in the
goes
theater.
to sleep.
I was like middle school.
Really?
Saw it 4 times in the theater. Wow.
Interesting note about this: Rennie Harlan, when he directed it, got a call from Spielberg after Spielberg saw Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, I just want to say, great job.
Who played Alice?
Oh, Lisa
Wilcox.
Yep, there we go.
Lisa Wilcox. I had the whole thing for her. That's why I saw it 4 times. Yeah, because here's Lisa Wilcox. She's quiet, nerdy girl at the beginning, and by the end of it, she's badass heroine. And I'm like middle school, and so I'm starting to figure out shit.
Yeah,
was totally into that.
Yeah, got it.
I was totally into it. So I was like, because my first awakening, they're saying when you realize that your sexuality and figure out what you like. For me, it was Beetlejuice when I first saw Winona Ryder's Lydia. I was like, I'm going to be into goth chicks. That was how it was, and that was a thing for a while. Then I saw Elm Street 4. I was like, oh, I'm into awesome nerdy chicks, and that's how I got married in 5 seconds. So that was a trope of him. Would you like some trivia?
Yes.
We have touched on a couple of things, but even I will go to even though Marty and Jen are supposed to be in high school, Gabrielle Anwar was 23 and Christine Elise was 28.
Good grief.
Wow, I did not know she was that old in that film.
The audio sample of the famous quote of the movie where Meg Tilly's character says,
I forgot. Who cares?
I'm gonna put it in, but I like. But,
got it.
But for your, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere, because there's no one like you left. Was used by an American industrial band, Powerman 5000, and their songs "Strike the Match" from their 1984 EP called "True Force."
1994 EP.
94.
Just making sure I'm not that old.
No problem.
You are.
Damn it.
The audio sample of the famous quote was also used by the American Industrial Band. Wasn't by. It was also used by Skinny Puppy.
Oh yeah, of course.
And another song. I just copied the same thing twice, but Skinny Puppy also did. So I'll play both samples.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere, because there's no one like you left. Where to go? Where are you gonna run? Gonna hide? Nowhere.
So here's the thing about Body Snatchers that I found fascinating. Body Snatchers was shown in competition at the 1993 Cannes Film Festival.
Of course it was.
Receiving positive reviews from some critics, including Roger Ebert.
What?
Oh my God.
Who considered it superior to the previous adaptation of Finney's famous novel. And in his review from February 25th, 1984, he gave it 4 stars out of 4.
Bullshit.
Praising its psychological realism and social criticism.
That is mind-blowing. He just was happy he saw Gabrielle Moore naked.
That's what it was.
Ebert stated as sheer movie making is as skilled and knowing and deserves the highest praises that you can get in horror films. It works.
Wow, he got paid a ton.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I can't get over that one. That one's going to bother me.
No, it hurts a little bit, actually. Yeah.
I figured you'd enjoy the Roger Ebert thing.
Oh, my God. And there's one thing I do want to talk about with this movie that just bothered the hell out of me. All right, they're in Alabama. I understand that,
Roll
Tide.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, that is a Roll Tide, sir.
And a merry Roll Tide to you.
You're damn right if you're going to do it right.
Pod people.
Roll Tide, pod people.
So here's the thing. I understand, military, they'll come from, all over and everything else. But there's not very many people with a Southern accent in this film.
Nope.
There's a lot of New York accents.
100%.
I don't know what y'all talking about. They all just sound like Alabamians.
That's what I'm telling you. The 2 gas station dudes were the realest dudes in the whole movie.
Yeah. And I could not get over that.
Okay, so in defense of that, we only see life on the base.
Yeah, we don't see it outside of it.
So those people are all shipped in from everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Right, and I saw that, but at the same time, you're taking place. You're establishing that it's in Alabama. You would expect to have.
I think they
more
loosely
people.
mentioned Alabama. They're just like, yeah, Alabama, and then Roll Tide, and then the movie starts. Roll Tide. Does that hurt a little bit?
I think they probably got. I think they probably got worked in. Like they were kind of like, Alabama, because we didn't have tax incentives back then.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
they chose to film in Selma for a reason. That's what I don't
think-
understand. It's
I really
for that
think-
Air Force base, obviously.
Yeah, and I think it was because of that producer, Robert H. Solo, filmed Blue Sky there at Craig Air Force, and he was like, you know what, this would be a great,
Well, it's because he already got in,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to film on air. I mean, you can't do it now at all, obviously.
and that was just one of my very many issues with this film. That was just it was the accent.
He didn't have issues. He had subscriptions.
Facts.
Do you know what the budget for this film was?
Can we take
like-
guesses?
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to say 15 million.
50 million?
I'm gonna say 13.
Oh, look at you! Right on the button. 30 million estimated. Opening weekend was January 17th, 1994.
Bomb City. Bomb City.
How much money did this movie make on its opening weekend?
I'm going to say less than 100,000.
3 million. I'm gonna say 3 million.
3
I'm going to
million.
say less than 100,000.
Well, give me a number.
73,000.
$31,494.
Wow.
Tanker. A tanker.
Its worldwide gross was what?
Ooh. I'll go with 1.2 million.
1.2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like one. I'm gonna say 1.1, just to be different from him.
$428,868.
My God.
This is what we call a bomb.
By definition, super bomb.
It was released its opening weekend. It released 25th.
Wow.
I didn't know it did that bad.
I'd never heard of it until I saw it like at movie gallery. So,
Yeah.
and so I was surprised to find out it had a theatrical release. He's terrible at this game.
I got a good answer this time.
All right, so what can you name me the top 5 movies of January 17th, 1994 that weekend?
Jurassic Park.
No.
Damn it. Was it 93?
Yes. No. Yeah. But it's
Schindler's List.
no. There's other movies. There's 5 movies you can name. I'll let you name 5.
So I got to stay in canon
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Because mine was definitely.
I find this funny because I know Drew's memory. We've already done this game with another movie from 1993 recently.
Yeah,
like in the last 2 months.
That's why I said Jurassic Park. It's the only thing I have in my brain.
That was me. I was like Jurassic Park.
No, he's got two go-tos: Jurassic Park and Back to the Future. That's his go. I could be like, we're doing a movie from 2017. He's like, Back to the Future was number one.
It's a reissue.
You're right. I just want to pat his head like, no, buddy, no.
I have no recollection.
Yeah.
Any guesses?
Judgment Night.
No, but it's on that list.
Oh, that was a good movie.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, Philadelphia. Number 2, Mrs. Doubtfire. Which is soon coming to the a Broadway stage. Which is weird.
Yeah.
House Party 3, Grumpy Old Man. And the Pelican Brief.
I mean, that was a good run of movies that year.
Yeah.
Can you name me the top 5 films of 1993?
Philadelphia.
No.
Jurassic Park.
Yes, number 1.
Damn it! I broke canon just for you.
So
I thought this came out in 94.
Nope, 93.
I don't know after that. Schindler's List.
No.
Back to the Future.
No. Anything else you want to guess? We've got
The Firm.
Oh, yes, The Firm. Number 3.
Got to think about McDonald's VHS boxes. Field of Dreams.
No.
Oh, no. That was like
89.
I'm just thinking about movies you got from
I was saying
McDonald's.
91, but I'm drawing a blank. 93.
I didn't kill my wife.
Oh, The Fugitive.
It was the
I
one
don't care.
Oh, no, Shawshank.
No, you're right. The Fugitive.
When was Shawshank?
Also,
Later.
yeah, no, it was from the following year, 94. Sleepless in Seattle is number 4 on this list, and then of course the aforementioned Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, okay.
How did Body Snatchers fare?
Oh, good God. Not even in the top 100. There's no way.
No, we did not go to the top 100. So any number beyond 100.
Okay, 289.
I'm going to go with 128.
He's closer, 252.
Oh, my God. That's really bad.
It was beat by the only movie that we've done here from 1993, Judgment Night, which ranked at 101.
Yep.
Wow.
So here's a little thing about this film. So Warner Bros. Originally scheduled the film's release in October of 92. Then they opted for the more comedic Innocent Blood as their horror release for that season. And it was felt that it was the glut of sinners genre fare such as Hellraiser 3, Candyman, and Dr. Giggles, and Bram Stoker's Dracula would overwhelm this film potential. So they're like, all this stuff's coming out. We'll hold Body Snatchers. The release movie was
What's that Alabama one? No, we're gonna wait on that one.
the release of the movie was moved around several times. It was came in limited release in 93. That's why it has the 93 release. And its wide release is 94. But so that's
interesting.
That's why Warner Bros. Didn't know what they did with it. In fact, that's why they sent it to Cannes. They thought it was, they looked at themselves, this is good, and they sent it to Cannes. It was
but then they didn't believe in enough. Like a January release window is the. Like that's not where you want to be.
No, it's a dead window. But like, I think when Cannes, because you had to think that's 8 months earlier when Cannes going on.
Yeah, but
so
we need to look at what else was out at Cannes at that time.
I actually had that list
because I think it would actually be, if you're going to look at it from that perspective. There's a weird part about Cannes is like, again, that movie could play there in a completely different subtext and come across a whole different way.
Yeah, and plus it was also that time era too. I mean, that's one thing really.
No, that's true. Like the 90s. Look, that was a bleak movie.
Yeah,
and bleak movies were really the trendy.
Because I remember liking it as a kid. More, especially more than I do now. But it's still at the time. But it was still.
I think I've seen it before. I just don't remember it.
This style of film, the whole I don't know who you are, if you're what you are and everything, had been done better. Before then.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, and by that point, they were still trying to bank on. I think they were just trying to bank on the name, Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Donald Sutherland one, it was like, because going back and watching it now, right after this film, it was like bam, 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 paranoia through the roof.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time.
So I'll just do the American ones. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
So Body Snatchers, then Falling Down.
Yeah, see? I love that movie.
Which I didn't realize until now that I just read it. It was Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, it's one of Joel's few movies I enjoy.
Soderbergh's King of the Hill.
Oh God, I haven't seen that in forever.
I don't think I've seen it. Period.
I'll sneak in one UK film. Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing, which is brilliant.
Oh, okay.
A New Zealand film won, but we all know it because it's The Piano.
Oh yeah, it went on to win an Oscar. Didn't it?
Yeah. So that's Anna Paquin.
So there you go. That's really strange that they threw that in there, like Body Snatch. But
on this list also it's silly horror on this list, which is interesting.
There is horror?
Yeah, there's usually one or two horrors in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But they threw it in there, and they threw it in for that.
I think
and they probably pushed it more as a sci-fi movie than anything else, and so it kind of came across as more.
Now, go back and rewatching this. That's something I do have to say. The sci-fi elements were good. I mean, when it got to that, but it was just you had to get through all that crap, to get to the positive.
It's kind of slow setup, but I don't think that's slow because I mean,
you jump right in.
You jump right in, and then it kind of slows down in the because they're like, oh shit, we need to introduce characters. It's like horror film.
My problem with it is it still it follows the logic of the time in which the book was written.
Right.
And it's very much like clearly a metaphor for communism and social thinking, which is what it's saying is like you don't want to become that because you lose your identity. I mean, it's like that's the whole line that she gives. And I guess for me, it was just like, okay, got it.
Down here, they're like, she's just trying to vote for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I was about to say, Finney now would be like, what is going on? We have socialists running for... It's like, it's just different world, bro. Just different world.
Welcome to 2020.
We potted our people out on the interwebs. I got an avatar and everything.
He's kind of cute, look.
Yeah. Y'all still got that MySpace up over there?
I sadly still have my MySpace page. I saw it the other day. I'm like, hey, I remember that.
That's not my mommy. My mommy's verified on Twitter.
There it is. That's totally right.
Love it.
So would you recommend this movie?
No.
Really? I would. I would
recommend it more because, hey, I lived there when they filmed this movie.
I think with the right couple of friends, just I'm not going to, here's a serious film we're going to watch.
I feel like it's just two in the middle.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I could get high or drunk enough to make it justify like where I'd laugh at it.
I was very sober when I watched it.
I think
I was watching this on my lunch hour at work. And I'm just going, oh God! And people like coming in, what's going on here? Nothing. You don't want. There's no. Don't.
I'm glad. I'm sorry to make you waste your lunch hour on this.
It worked out. I got stars. I got
my $3
to watch it.
Yeah.
So I joined Stars because there were some other good movies on Stars.
I did too. So yeah. So if you want to watch this, it's on Stars. If you have Amazon Prime right now until it's
$5.
Yeah, it's like $5 until the end of March.
Yeah.
So you can buy the movie for $3.
Yeah.
Or you can get Stars for 3 months for $5.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So like I'm sitting there and there's like all kinds of there's other good movies for us to discuss on there. And I was like, work expense.
Click. Work expense. All right, so I don't have no idea what we're going to do next time. We'll figure it out.
Well, I would like to throw Replacement Killers back into the mix.
Okay.
I would like to throw the Puppet Masters into the mix if we're going to stay on theme, but we might want to deviate from it.
Whatever.
But I don't know either.
Well, we still have to do Fortress.
Fortress has to be done.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do Fortress.
Let's do Fortress.
It's a lot of prison movies we've been doing lately.
I do want to put one movie on the list.
Sure.
And Drew, you know which one this is.
Here it comes. Maximum Overdrive.
There we go.
It's his favorite movie.
Exactly. It was the first film I ever saw as a kid.
It's his Gymkhana.
Yeah, exactly.
Maximum Overdrive is his Gymkhana.
It is so bad, it's good. You got to admit that.
It's so funny because my first movie was like Star Wars. You guys have these really obscure...
I remember it too because it had that really badass HBO logo because that's how I saw it. And you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, with the model city and the cameras flying through, the awesome music playing.
They have just did a if I can remember, put it in the show notes. They have just did a HD remaster of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Unreal.
Nice.
So it's pretty sweet.
I would do Maximum Overdrive just because I have teased him about it for 2 years on a podcast.
So you got to admit, we came up with a really badass remake plot.
Oh wait!
That's what we forgot.
We forgot. So before we leave, we need to do that.
Yeah.
How would you make this movie better?
Okay. Well, first off, I would not have Terry Kinney in there.
I think this more is story. Let's not.
For story. Story wise, I would slow it down a little bit more. I would bring back the paranoia from the Donald Sutherland one, because that to me was one of the main problems with this film. It's like you said, horror. Oh wait, no, we got to introduce characters. Oh, back to the horror, and it's so inconsistent, and it's probably so many different screenwriters on the film that you should have slowly introduced the paranoia. Okay, is this really happening? Is it not happening? And then just really amp it up to the point where it gets to the helicopter explosions and everything else. To me, that would have made a much better watching film.
I would have gone more so in the vein of slightly comedic and gone more so down the Tim Burton sort of Beetlejuice vibe with it, with a musical number. And I'm not making that up. Like, I would actually take it a little more on the...
Would Danny Elfman do the music?
Oh God, yes. But I don't. Or Chris Lott. But I would set it up to be a little bit more of a comedic thing, where like the fact that when someone becomes a pod person, there's a little more comedy based around it, as opposed to like it's all super serious.
You can have in there. Pod babies.
Podlers.
The sequel to them.
So hear me out on this.
Oh gosh.
Here's my pitch. I keep the military base because I think that's fascinating, and so this is what I do. I focus it around a platoon or whatever the smallest unit is of guys. Then they've been in the Middle East and they come back, and everyone's changed.
Yeah,
and so people are like, or not like their families are changing. No, it's just PTSD.
Yeah.
No, it's not PT. I mean, yeah, I've got that, but
but
my wife is no longer my wife.
It's a good idea.
My wife, and that's your psychological.
Yeah, that pushes up your paranoia.
But that's how you.
But I would then, if I did that to play upon both you guys, I would show as little of the pod situation as humanly possible till the very, very end. So the entire time you're like, these dudes are obviously, fucked up from the war. They're dealing with PTSD or whatever it is. Maybe some of them maybe abuse. Something. Right. And so the idea is you make it so that then it's making a statement on top of it. It's like, hey, we treat our soldiers like shit when they come home. And so then you're building up this whole thing. I would buy into that all day.
Yeah.
We should write that. I'm into that one.
I mean,
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Podlers. Podlers.
I'm all about some podlers.
Podler shirts are going to happen. I'm just podlers are awesome. Oh, we're gonna be attacked by our movie Podlers. It's gonna be great.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
So on Podlers, I think that's it for us. This is Scotty saying this is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours.
Kohas out.
Thank you for listening to the Mopcast Network.